The mainstream media is afraid of us. They're afraid of our candidates. They're rife with hypocrisy and bias against Bernie Sanders, Andrew Yang, and Tulsi Gabbard. Primarily those three. I just read an article that said ABC News has ran approximately 7 minutes of airtime footage this year for Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders has been one of the top front runners for well over a year. Okay, that's the way it is. Okay, and they have given him 7 minutes within the past year. ABC News reaches millions of people. Doesn't get more mainstream than ABC News. But yet somehow, somehow, Bernie Sanders is not good enough. Wow. Pure, unrelenting bias to cover other candidates other than Bernie Sanders, who is a front runner. They're scared, man. They are scared. What are they scared of? Social democracy? Everything Bernie Sanders represents is already implemented in other countries. It's like, I just don't see how Bernie Sanders is controversial. The things he fights for are the things that are implemented all over Europe, in Australia, and just most Western countries, whether it's universal health care, whether it's a living wage, whether it's green energy initiatives, etc. It's amazing. These things that are supposed to be from the radical left are basically the middle ground when it comes to where most of the Western world has been for a while. So you need to digest that. You need to process that. Because people aren't getting it. People just go to this whole radical left spiel with Bernie Sanders, and it couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, I know I have bias because I really like Bernie Sanders, but that's just the truth. The truth is, Bernie Sanders is not a radical leftist at all. He's basically the middle ground when it comes to the world stage. Like Bernie Sanders in Europe, it's just going to be a run-of-the-mill Democrat, okay? To give you an idea how far right we are in America, Google the Overton window. If you don't know that by now, you're going to be lost. But yeah, the establishment is scared. Check this out. I also saw this other article. From 2007, Nancy Pelosi sat down with Assad from Syria. You know, Assad, the murderous dictator that Tulsi Gabbard sat down with in a diplomatic context. Remember? I can't believe it. Nancy Pelosi did this back in 2007. But Tulsi Gabbard did it a few years ago. I think it was 2012 maybe. And it's a problem. Now, why is that? Once again, more hypocrisy coming from establishment Democrats. Because they don't like Tulsi and the threat that she poses to the military-industrial complex, okay, to all the defense contractors, because she's anti-regime change war. She knows she's going to change all that, and it's going to change all the money out of their pockets and putting it back into the American taxpayers' pocket. They don't want that. But anyway, why is it okay for Nancy Pelosi to sit down with Assad in a diplomatic context? And why is it not okay for Tulsi Gabbard to sit down with Assad in a diplomatic context? These things do not add up. When they attack Tulsi for doing the exact same thing as their goddess, their establishment goddess, Nancy Pelosi did back in 2007. Total rank hypocrisy. Anyways, I'm gonna leave those links down below. Make sure you read them. Make sure you pass them around, because they need to be seen. I totally forgot about that 2007 thing. But anyways, let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe, click the bell.